And welcome back to another preview episode of Banditland Boulevard. Trevor Howard right here, Tony LaMonica right there, aka Boxhead 98 TL. Guys, after our bye week, we are back with another preview episode here. Probably a must win, kind of like what we said off air, Tony. It's a get back game. It's against the best defense in the National Lacrosse League. The Colorado Mammoth are all of a sudden on the radar for the Bandits on the road. Saturday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Should be a good game. We are recording this as of Wednesday night at 8 o'clock at night. So we got a little bit of stuff to go over here. We're obviously going to get into our key players to watch for both teams, keys to a victory, and get into some roster moves as well. I know the goalies have been shifted around, and we've seen some players get reactivated off the injury reserve, and we've seen some players get actually cut from the active roster. So we're going to get into all of that, but Colorado Mammoth, this was a team, Tony, just a few years ago that had a narrative against the Bandits. The Bandits can be super, super good against any other team, but the Mammoth will always have that big brother mentality over the Buffalo Bandits. Ever since the 2023 finals, though, that narrative has not only faded away, it is completely swapped. The Bandits have dominated that rivalry since the 2023 finals, and this one should be an interesting one. You got a Bandits offense that's still looking to find consistency going up against the best defense, arguably, in the National Lacrosse League. Tony, how are you feeling going into this Saturday? I know that we're a few days out of here, but it's going to be a tough one at hand.
Yeah, at the Ball Arena in Colorado, this is going to be, like you state, a true testament of our offense to get back on track. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge against one of the best defenses in the league right now, as the Colorado Mammoth are now 5-2, as we're 3-3 looking up to them. But that could be the motivational twist that we need, is to push ourselves to become better as a team and as a unit. The fact that if the Bandits are going to want to get back into the top 5 standings or top 3, whatever they were before, prior in the seasons, this will be the true testament of them to get back on track. And hopefully the offense starts to click again to get that over 12 goals per game. But again, it's going to be a full team effort. It's not going to just be based on the top 2 guys that we always have, and that's Dane Smith and Josh Byrne. But our secondary scoring's got to be legit, and basically all the keys of the game have to be legit. You're going to have to play with an A+ effort. That's the only way you're going to have to prove yourselves.
Absolutely, and especially due to the fact that the Bandits are now coming off of a bye week. I know that there are some players that are maybe shaken up. There are players that are coming off of the injury reserve. The bye week only did wonders for the Bandits, but the only downside to that is they had to sit on that Ottawa loss for an extra week without playing. So they let that kind of bitter taste simmer in their mouth for a little bit longer, and hopefully that gets under their skin and makes them upset, pisses them off a little bit, and we get to see an angry, pissed-off offense going into Denver, Colorado. But let's just jump right into it, Tony. I hinted to this before. Players to watch for the Colorado Mammoth, stacked defensively. And if you know one thing about the Bandits offense this season, to describe it to you in one word, inconsistent. I think that's the best way to put it. You go in and you put 15. You hang 15 on the Georgia Swarm. You score 8 against Halifax, then you hang 15 on the Desert Dogs, and you hang 13 on the Mammoth, then you score 9 against Ottawa and 9 against Rochester. So inconsistent play, but when the offense is clicking, the offense is clicking. It's going to be tough for this offense, though, Tony. I know that they came off a bad game, but you're going up against a great defense. My number one player to watch for the Mammoth is a player on the defense. Spoiler alert, City. Robert Hope. 100% has to be the number one player to watch on that defense. He's a very experienced vet on that team. I think that's the only team that he's played for in his tenure in the National Lacrosse League. He's loyal to that crest. All he does is lay players out. He's a big shot blocker, stands and he's Dylan Ward's buddy. He stands to the side of him, blocks a lot of shots in his way, and also drops the mitts and does get into a few scraps every now and then. So he's a team player, sticks up for his guys, and he is the heartbeat of that defense. Look out for number 18 wearing maroon colors on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'll probably say one of the best and top defenders of the game, especially Robert Hope, with leading the league right now with 16 blocked shots. Also the fact that he is like our Paul Dawson or our Steve Priolo, who's been blocking shots left and right. But other than that, Robert
Patrick
Hope,
McCready, man, he's just like Pat McCready.
He is, just doesn't care. He'll put his body on the line if he has to protect Dylan Ward. But that's good to have, especially now with the Buffalo Bandits coming in. And even though the offense is inconsistent, Robert Hope is going to be one of those guys that we're going to have to watch out for and say, well, how are we going to top him and top the other defenders out there that are going to protect their goaltender as much as we're going to try our best to do the same for Matt Vince.
He's also a big 6'4" frame. I thought I would add that in there too. So very much similar to that of Paul Dawson. He only weighs $185, so he's really, really fast too. He's kind of the best of both worlds for the Colorado Mammoth. I know, Tony, that we're not going to be seeing the Bandit killer, Zed Williams. We already saw him in Rochester, so
that's right.
That's kind of a positive thing. But when you look at these guys on defense, I mean, I'm just looking down the roster here, and every one of these guys established. And every one of these guys has been a Mammoth for a long time, maybe outside of a couple. So they have established a family, a brotherhood in that defense. They're not going to let some struggling Bandits offense come into their barn and bully them. So I think Robert Hope is the number one guy that I'm looking at. Who are you looking at offensively, defensively, or maybe even goaltending wise to watch for the Colorado Mammoth going into Saturday?
Well, as I was stating the fact before when we were talking off air, a familiar name that the Desert Dogs lost and the Colorado Mammoth have adapted to, acquiring Jack Hanna. And not only that, but the way how his style is, they have been unbeaten ever since he's been signed with them. And so what does that tell you? If that kid can play lacrosse for any team known to man, he finds a way to win. And for the team like that to come against the Buffalo Bandits, that's another man you got to watch out for. He can score at will. I believe he had in the 70s or 80 amount of points in his previous years with the Desert Dogs, but with a strong team like Colorado, that's always been a thorn at our side, and he is like the next Zed or even better. That's a guy you have to shadow, or that's a guy you have to be literally not giving the opportunities of and limited him to like a goal or two. Other than that, if he finds a rhythm, look out, lights out, call it quits, because Jack Hanna is one of those guys that'll make you quit.
Yeah, Jack Hanna is an absolute freak. And I remember when I saw the trade go down, when it was official, made by the NLL, that Jack Hanna is being traded from the Desert Dogs to the Mammoth. I remember saying, oh no, the Mammoth are a playoff team again. Those are the exact words that came out of my mouth. So spot on, Tony. Jack Hanna is he's last week's or the week before that's Jeff Teat that we have to limit and shut down. And obviously the Bandits defense really didn't do that against Jeff Teat. We mean it this time with Jack Hanna. He has been a phenomenal player with the Mammoth, and you just stated undefeated since adding him to the active roster and acquiring him in that trade. That is big. I want to go to goaltending here. A guy, though, that the Bandits have, I mean, just like I kind of said in the introduction, the script really flipped with this guy, Dylan Ward. I want to look at him too. He has shut down the Bandits all the way up until Game 3 of the 2023 season. Ever since then, the Bandits have been finding creative ways to score goals. A bunch of secondary scoring has gotten to the best of Dylan Ward. Last year, when the Bandits played in Colorado, I remember Clay Scanlon going off and having a crazy good game against Dylan Ward. But he has been looking like a different animal this year. He's been looking so much better than he was last year. He's way more consistent. The whole team all the way around is more consistent than it was last year. They're second in the overall standings while the Bandits are in ninth. And I think a huge part of that is the play in between the pipes from Dylan Ward.
Yeah, Dylan has found his youth, if we may say.
Sipping out of the fountain of youth. Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. So now that he has found a rhythm, especially with this younger group, and on top of it, it's like, oh, I could play like my young self again and find my championship pattern. And that's exactly what Dylan Ward has done. He's found his championship feelings and rhythms again. He found that he can stop every single shot that's coming against him, because he can rely on his defense to protect him. And not only that, he's still one of those top-tier goaltenders that you have to prove a point to. And that's what our offense is going to struggle, I feel, against Colorado this Saturday night. But they got to prove it to themselves they can beat Dylan Ward. But Ward is not going to make it look easy. And especially with Robert Hope, and then you got Jeffrey there as well to protect him. You got to find a way to not play the trap game, but you have to find a way to just dominate their defense. But you got to have confidence in yourself to do that. But Dylan Ward is going to put up a huge fight against these guys because he remembers that moment when he lost that championship to us last time. He's never going to forget that. He's ready for redemption this time, and he's coming at us full swing.
And it's been a long time coming for him to get that long overdue revenge. So why not this Saturday? You also can't forget about pesky Andrew Q on the forward side. I mean, that guy can find the back of the net too. And he's had some success against the Bandits. We've seen his days with the Georgia Swarm and how pesky he was there. I can tell you right now, with the Colorado Mammoth, he's going to be that much more annoying. So you got to watch out for that guy as well. Enough of giving them their stripes. We know how good they are. They're 5-2, second in the league. Let's look at the key players to watch. This is a Bandits show after all. Let's look at some Bandits that we need to watch. You know what? I'm just going to flat out say it. Number one player I need to watch, and a number one player that needs to be better, is Josh Byrne. Josh Byrne has to play better. We have to see the Josh Byrne that we are accustomed to seeing against the Colorado Mammoth. This guy is a Mammoth slaughterer. We know how good he is against this Colorado team. He showed it with that back-breaking goal, and I always go back to this one because this was such a crazy goal with no time left in Game 3 of the 2023 Finals. That shot from beyond the restraining line that went over Dylan Ward's shoulder, that was, I think, was the ultimate game-changing shot. Ever since then, he has been dominating Dylan Ward. He has been dominating this defense, and he can destroy and send back to extinction the Colorado Mammoth. But Josh, you got to pick it up. What was it? 2 points in Rochester and 2 points against Ottawa at home.
Yeah.
Dare I say, Tony, he is long overdue. Why not in Ball Arena? Why not in Denver, Colorado? Why not this Saturday at 9:00 p.m.?
Prove your worth to this team. I mean, I don't know what has happened the last few weeks that you've been playing or what's going inside your head, but just remember that you've got a band full of brothers that are right there alongside you, feeling the same pains, whatever you're going through. So this will be a good time to clear your mind, get back into rhythm, get back to basics, and find the Josh Byrne that we've all known and loved about getting the 8, 9, 10 plus points per game. Find that scoring rhythm. Just take control. Be like, you know what, guys? I'm going to score a sock trick against Dylan Ward this Saturday. You know, let's see that fire burn in you, sir. And I want Josh, I want
wordplay there.
I tried it. So, so
burn,
Josh,
baby.
So Josh, we want to see you succeed. We want that confidence back into you, man. And just let you know that Banditland is always backing you up no matter what. The ups, the downs, the injuries or the help being fully healthy. Get back out there and be yourself. That's the Josh Byrne we want to love and see.
Tony and I might be the two biggest Josh Byrne fanatics in the podcasting world. I mean, we love this dude. He knows how much we love him. He knows how much Banditland loves him. Go out there and show it, my guy. I know that you have the ability to do that. You had that bye week to kind of shake off what was kind of bothering you the past 2 weeks. That can only do you better. But we know the player that you're capable of being. We know how good you are against this Colorado team, and we know that you dominate Dylan Ward. So go out there and show it. Tony, a player for the Bandits for you to watch, sir.
Well, I know I've been preaching this, man, for episode per episode per episode.
I think I know.
And you know who I'm going with, and that is Kyle Buchanan.
Of course.
The man himself has got to be himself. He needs to stay consistent. And even though he doesn't score as many points like Dane or Josh does per night, but we need that speed to the ball, the loose balls. We need him to get to them before they do. We need him to create madness around the net. We need him to be that go-to guy. If we need to score a goal by him, he will do so. So, and I think my statistics or my thinking could be clear about how Kyle Buchanan has portrayed himself against Colorado in the past, say, handful of games against them. He's the one guy you want to score that go-to game winner in case things get ugly fast. Absolutely. And Kyle Buchanan is one of those dudes who will never quit on their roster at all. So give him the chance to prove himself, to maybe get a 10-point night. I like to see Kyle Buchanan do that.
He's been the most consistent forward on the team this season. I will say
at least
that.
5-6 points per game. You can't ask for more from a secondary guy like that.
And you know what he's good for? He is good for 5 to 8 point-ish a night out of Kyle Buchanan. Sounds about right, I want to say. And he's had some very good games against the Colorado Mammoth, too. It doesn't matter what team he played for. This was before Bandits. During his Bandits tenure, he's had some great games against Colorado as well. And another guy who's had phenomenal starts against the Mammoth since the 22 finals. And I'm going to go with this guy in between the pipes, number 48, Matt Vince. I think he has played out of his head against this team. I think the last time they played the Mammoth, the Bandits won 15-10, and that was on the road once again in Ball Arena, where Matt Vince was making. And I don't know if you remember this, Tony, but the second half of that game, when Colorado started to claw back a little bit, he was making these crease diving saves, blocking shots off of his face mask, bouncing him over the back of the net. He was playing lights out. And this was a struggling Colorado team last year. It's not like the Mammoth that got off to such a strong start this year, but this was also probably a much better Bandits team on paper as well when you had Fraser and Kuche helping him out. But if one thing is for sure, if the offense is struggling, you know that you're going to get a solid performance out of Matt Vince. He's seen a lot of the Colorado Mammoth over the past 4 years or so, especially with the back-to-back final runs against these guys in 22 and 23. And similar to that of Josh Byrne, ever since Game 3 of the 2023 finals, he has been the Mammoth destroyer. He's been sending them back to extinction where they belong. And I always go back to that game, 13-4. He hasn't looked back since. And he's had some close ones, but he has held them to under 10. If you remember the 2024 season, they had a home game. It was funny enough on chicken wing eating night that Tony and I remember very, very well. He held them to under 10 goals that night in a big 12-8 victory. And then on the road, they still won, I think, 13-11 on the road. They swept them that year. And then last year, they faced against them once, beat the Mammoth 15-10. All due to, number one, consistent offense, but number two, lights out goaltending from number 48, Matt Vince. And he still got it. He's shown in a few games this year that he still got it. Why not have this trend continue against this Colorado Mammoth team?
Yeah, go to your GOAT of the National Lacrosse League in goaltending, and that is Matt Vince. I mean, even though this year is not the kind of start he wants, but he still held teams to 8, 10, around that average that he's just so comfortable with. And that's where the offense has just got to support him and back him up and score the 12 or 13 just to get by or just to win those games. And right now, like we said off air, you think just we would have only had technically one loss, and that was the Rochester game. I would have agreed with that. But Halifax, you should have won. He kept you in that game. We only lost 9-8 to Halifax, and the Black Bears 10-9. Again, that's an impressive way to keep a team at 10 or lower. So again, Matt Vince is your go-to guy. And if the Bandits want to win this game, you're going to have a superb look at Matt Vince of this game coming in. But again, he's not going to see Zed Williams, and he's not – maybe he might see Lee, but that's about it. Other than that, I think he should be okay.
And I will say, spoiler alert city here, and we're going to kind of, talk about this as the episode went on, but a player to watch, a guy who hasn't played in almost a full calendar year. Matt Spanger has been activated off the injury reserve. I have to see what he looks like because he hasn't played since, I want to say, the Albany Tucker out game last year. I think was the last game he played before he got hurt. So we're coming up on a full 365 days since then. You got to see what the big Spanginator is going to bring in Ball Arena on Saturday night. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But hey, spoiler alert, if you guys are still watching the episode, we will talk about those roster transactions. Before I get into the keys to a victory, though, I thought I would throw this out here as well. This is the first ever Colorado Mammoth 4-game win streak since the year they won the championship, since 2022. So this is a much different Colorado Mammoth team that we are accustomed to seeing.
Yep.
I just said it. The last time they went on a 4-game win streak was 2022. So if that's worth anything to the Colorado fan, hey, maybe they had some championship aspirations this year. We will see. But On the other side, number one, look at the team that they faced against last week. I mean, we don't have a lot of wiggle room to say that. The Bandits faced against the Ottawa Black Bears, who, let's be real, aren't very good. They lost 11-8 last week. The Mammoth also faced against a team that's not very good either in the Oshawa Firewolves. So we'll just take that for what it's worth. But I want to say this. Sure, the Mammoth are on a 4-game win streak. But since Game 2 of the 2023 NLL Finals, the Bandits have gone 4-0. They have been on a 4-game win streak against the Colorado Mammoth, funny enough.
Wow. How about
Game
that?
3, 2023. They beat them in 2024 twice. They swept them. So that's 3 right there. And in 2025, beat them on the road. I think 15-10 was the score. That was the game where that was the Clay Scanlon game where he went absolutely crazy on Dylan Ward and the Mammoth. So it's cool. Colorado's got their own 4-game win streak this season, but guess what? The Bandits have a 4-game win streak of their own, and that is against the Colorado Mammoth, both home and on the road. So I thought I would throw that out there as well. Huge. Yeah,
that's going to be good, especially knowing that, that it could be a good confidence boost for the boys in orange and black. So we'll have to wait and see. Saturday night's going to be fun to watch, but it's going to be a good battle, I think, between these two teams.
Toe to toe. It's going to be crazy to see. Keys to a victory, to no one's surprise whatsoever. Offense, you need to see some production out of your offense. And to explain it to you guys like you're all 6 years old, I want the Bandits offense to score 13 goals. I think if you score 13, well, I mean, let's just look at the 2026 season as a whole through the first third of the year. Okay. Georgia Swarm, you score more than 13, you win. Okay. Halifax game, you score less than 13, you lose. The who was it after that? Was it the Calgary Roughnecks after that one?
Yeah.
You score 13 goals. You win that game. Las Vegas, you score 15 goals, which is more than 13, in case you guys didn't know. The Bandits win that game.
Yep.
And then things start to get a little bit ugly. Rochester, you score 9, which is less than 13. You lose that game.
Yep.
Ottawa Black Bears, you score
9 again.
9 again. You lose that game. So can the magic number be offensively lucky 13, not unlucky 13? This will be lucky 13 for the Bandits this year in 2026. We need to see an offensive explosion because let's just be real. Having scored double digits in back-to-back games, this team, this offense is overdue for an offensive explosion. We need to see that on Saturday night.
We need everyone on that roster to contribute. And I'm not just saying Dane, and I'm not just saying Josh. I'm saying McKay, Buchanan, Tahoka, Scanlon, everybody that I can name. And everybody has to play their part. Defensively, transition, and offense. You guys have to play as one. Stop playing as individuals because that's what's happened in the last 2 games. You guys try to take things in a matter in your own hands. Don't. Play as Johnny T has portrayed it out to be. Play as a team. That's how you win their games. So if everybody's working on their part, you guys should win this game. But 13 is I think it is a good number to reach, but I'm saying put the pedal down, hammer these guys down as much as you can, and I'd like to see 3 more off that. I'd love to see 16.
I would love to see 16. 16 should be enough to win the game. I don't care if you're at home or if you're on the road. If Dylan Ward is giving up 16 goals, you damn well better win that game. I swear.
You better win that game.
I swear. Because Matt Vince. Well, if the Bandits' offense is scoring 16 goals, you think Matt Vince is giving up 16? You got another thing coming.
No, he's not going to.
Absolutely not. Another key. I think this should go for both teams, but if we're talking about keys to a Bandits victory, shut down the Stars, please.
Yeah.
We need that. This goes for transition mostly and defense and goaltending. Offense, they have their own problems that they need to figure out. And we kind of just threw that out there. But listen up here, everyone on the transition, everybody on the defense, and actually Matt Vince, he's the only goaltender that's hopefully in the game coming up on Saturday. Jeff Teat went off. That dude went absolutely nuts. He went ape on the Buffalo Bandits the last time that they faced against the Ottawa. The last time the Bandits played a game was the Ottawa Black Bears game. Feels like forever ago because we had the bye week again. But
that's right.
We said in the pregame way long ago that Jeff Teat needs to be stopped, needs to be extinguished. He scored 5 goals, half of their goals, and scored the game winner for the Black Bears.
By himself.
You mentioned Jack Hanna, Tony, and I think he's the number one star player to watch on offense for them. After the way that Jeff Teat made mincemeat out of your defense and goaltending, we need to see him shut down. Shut down their stars. I promise you, if you shut them down, or if you at least limit them to 1 or 2 goals, you're going to win this game. And not only are you going to win this game, you're going to win this game with ease. So maybe your Andrew Hughes, limit them. Jack Hanna absolutely needs to be stopped. If he goes crazy like Jeff Teat did, it's going to be hard to win the game on Saturday.
Yep. Like you said, just limit the stars to a 1 or 2 goal night defensively, but you got to have to work Spanger back in from his injury. You got to work Belcher back in from his injuries too, as well, especially with this concussion protocol. But other than that, protect each other, help each other out. And most importantly, as my key to the victory is protect Vince at all times, because he's going to need you guys out there to back him up to have probably his A+ game that he's going to need everybody to bounce back from. So for that being said, defense, protect your goaltender at all costs. Means block the shots, get in front of them, and don't allow the easy goals coming through to them. So
I totally agree. I mean, you see how good and how stacked Colorado's defense is. You got to play a little bit of parity there and try to mimic what they're doing, because their defense is going to be hungry to face against a struggling Bandits team. They're salivating at the mouth looking at this limping Bandits offense walking into their barn. So you got to be similar to that. You got to be able to shut down their stars too. I think another one for me, just looking into this, is it might sound a little cliche, it might sound a little crazy here, but just can we play John Tavares lacrosse? Please. Yep. Like, we have been playing lacrosse that looks like Troy Cordingley is coaching. Play as if Johnny T is coaching. You don't know why I say as if? Because you've been playing like that for the last 3-4 seasons. And guess what? I shouldn't even be saying as if. Johnny T is your head coach. Play like Johnny T is running the show. These guys would run through a wall for JT. I know that they would. They love that guy, and JT loves them. It is a well-reciprocated relationship between the players and the head coach. Play like he's coaching you, please. I mean, we're seeing shades of Troy Cordingley lacrosse, and almost want to get the Listerine and rinse my mouth out after the stuff I've been saying after when I'm watching the Bandits offense taking shots with 1 second left to go on the shot clock. That's not John Tavares lacrosse. John Tavares lacrosse is taking shots from all different angles, potting in 14 goals a night, Matt Vince holding teams to under 10 goals. That is what John Tavares lacrosse is. And also, he hasn't been any sort of problem whatsoever because he's been getting 50+% on his faceoffs. But you just keep being you, Connor Farrell. Just go out there, keep dominating in the faceoff circle. You've had 3 straight games where you've won the faceoff battle. Why not make it 4? So just stick to John Tavares level lacrosse. No more of this Troy Cordingley lacrosse. Like, no, leave that in 2017 where you went 6-12 on the year. Leave that in 2017.
Yeah, and especially that you mentioned about Connor Farrell. He's going up against a guy named Matthew Pilato, who right now is averaging 5th best, and he's got a 62% win percentage in the faceoff dot. So that, again, is going to be another testament to his key to try to, obstruct and be a consistent winning over the percent rate that we've seen Connor Farrell do in the last few times. But this kid is young, he's hungry, and he's going to look at Connor and go, okay, I got to dance with the big dogs. So Connor Farrell, you better be bringing whatever you have to eat and everything else, because dessert is coming up where you got to win those faceoffs. You got to win them.
Tough customer he is over there in Colorado, but looks like for the past 3 weeks, we got a tough customer of our own in wearing orange and black colors in Connor Farrell. Before we get into our world famous, and by that I mean absolutely world famous
Oh boy.
predictions, and some of them have been way on the mark, and some of them have been way off the mark. So you never know what you're going to get with us when we do those. We got to get into some roster moves that have been made over the past couple days, and
Agreed.
controversial moves among the fan base. Well, okay. Good news, bad news. What do you want first, Tony? Good news or bad news?
Might as well hear the bad news first.
Bad news first to get that out of the way. Ron John, Ron John, and forward Mike Triolo have been cut from the active roster. They have been waived. So what that means is they have to go through waivers. Any team that has any sort of waiver availability or can claim anybody off of waivers, essentially. So any team can take them. They have to pass a certain time frame. I don't know if it's 1 day or 2 days, but if nobody claims them within that time frame, those players go back to the practice squad. Mike Triolo was an experiment for the Bandits, and I want to leave it at that. He was an experiment. After the Rochester game, I'm going to be quite frank with you, Tony. I would have cut him immediately. So I'm not really broken by the Mike Triolo news. The dude couldn't catch a cold. Yeah. He couldn't catch chickenpox at a chickenpox party in the 1980s. Everything that touched his stick was immediately dropping on the floor. And during that Rochester game, he wasn't starting every game either. So we didn't really see much of him anyway. But I saw enough of him in that Nighthawks game that I'm like, all right, this guy will not fill in any sort of role that Chase Fraser or Chris Kluche once had on this team. So pack your bags. See ya. It's nothing personal. It's just we weren't getting the results on the field that we wanted to see. The thing that was controversial though was Ron John, the loose ball machine that is Ron John, a fan favorite amongst the fan base, and a guy that the Bandits acquired from the trade deadline last year from the Ottawa Black Bears in the Sam LaRue trade. He was placed on the waivers, and that was kind of a crazy move to see too, because we already know that while the offense has been inconsistent for the Bandits, loose balls and not getting extra possessions has kind of been the Achilles heel of this team. So seeing him getting waived was kind of crazy too. But this might be the Ryan Benesh situation that we're looking at here with the new collective bargaining agreement. I remember when he was cut from the active roster, he made it to the practice squad. If Ron John makes it to the practice squad, boom, he's still on the roster, and I'm fine with that. So we don't know really the ins and outs of where he's going to go, if he's going to be a Bandit or not. We don't know that as of Wednesday night. That could easily change in the next couple days. So don't crucify us for that. But the two players that were activated and brought up were Zach Belter, defense, and before mentioned Matt Spanger. So while the defense has been good with those two out, the defense just got stronger, man. And you got to shut down a pretty high-powered offense in the Colorado Mammoth, so it's good to have those two back. But, Tony, what were your thoughts? Ron John and Mike Triolo leaving. I love the fact that Belter and I love the fact that the Spanginator are back in Buffalo, and they're going to be out there helping out the defensive side. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of Ian McKay out the front door now, since he doesn't need to drop back and play D, which is great for our offense. But what did you think of the departures in Triolo and Ron John? Well, honestly, I kind of saw Triolo already packed his bags and already hanging out the door. He was already packed after that Rochester game. Sad part, because the sad part about that game is he couldn't catch anything. No, he was struggling. Seemed like his confidence he felt like a rookie or just starting a new game and just like, oh, I can play this game. And yet when he tries, he's embarrassing himself out there. And no offense, because the guy's played more years and seasons and he's got the experience or whatever he does. But for the size that you have and the fact that,
you're allowed to play in the National Lacrosse League, you didn't take advantage of any attributes that you even had for the Buffalo Bandits.
And how good he was in Saskatchewan.
Exactly.
Where the hell did his play go as soon as he
like
came
where
over
you
Buffalo?
pushed people around, you gave other people lanes to get shots off of. You weren't really much of a goal scorer, but when you got the chance and the opportunity, when you're all by yourself, goals were coming to you left and right. But the moment we saw you play, you like took a step back and said to yourself, you couldn't do it. But we were there supporting you, thinking, okay, this big guy is going to push people around because he's going to give the offense the need to get the clear shots that they need to see, but I guess not. And to me, honestly, that was like, well, I guess he didn't experience that well with the rush coming into Buffalo, thinking, well, I could deal with this with Buffalo, but oh, well, see you later. My only controversy is why cut Ron John?
Yes.
The man, when he started off the season with Mitch DeSnew, and we hope Mitch DeSnew gets back off his injuries because we need him back. But the fact that when those two were working together, lights out, offenses couldn't do nothing, getting the loose balls no matter left and right, and just finding a way to get to your offense back on the floor. Ron John was not the problem.
No.
And I don't know why he got cut, but apparently the Dietrichs or whoever's in charge just said, you know what, he's not cutting it either. Or maybe we need to give him a little shakeup or maybe see what he could do next if we keep him. But I don't know. After doing that and losing the confidence like that and saying, you're going to cut me for what? What did I do wrong to you guys? But everyone's got an opinion of those two players, and that's okay. But as we see it, to me, honestly, Ron John is not the problem.
No, I thought he was one of the best transitions that were on the team. He led. Yeah. I mean, when you had Ron John on a breakout, if your offense was on a potential odd man rush, he was getting the ball out quick. The offense was always getting those odd man rushes, and the loose balls, the extra possessions with that guy, he was absolutely great. He also had the wheels too to carry it up the field and set up a. I always go back to when I'm thinking of Ron John and his tenure with the Bandits. It's I think it was game 1 of the Vancouver series in the second round where he is booking up and down the floor and he finds, I think it was Josh Byrne in the flat, and he was wide open. He sets up a goal there. He gets the primary assist. Ron John was so good at that. Now, we don't know the status of him or if anybody's picked him up yet, or if, what, he could just be on the practice squad where the Bandits can call him up at any time. So that is the best case scenario. But I look at the transitions. I think John was up there with one of the best on the team. And who does that leave you with in transition other than Thomas Whitty and Mike McCannell? Are we going to be seeing more of Ian McKay out of the transition? You hope to see more out of the front door on offense, but you never know. Steve Dietrich is kind of a wizard with this stuff. He kind of makes things work while things don't look correct in the moment. And, sometimes you're maybe a little head scratching too. His wizardry works and he makes things work. So I'm not going to lose any faith in Chugger. I'm not going to lose any faith in Steve Dietrich, but it was a little bit head scratching there. Similar though to Mike Triolo, he also wasn't starting every night. So maybe that was a decision that was made. Like, listen, Thomas Whitty starting every night, Ian McKay starting every night. Mike McCannell is going to be playing on a more consistent basis. Maybe that's what it is. Ron John, I hope we don't get to see him go because he's such a great dude and great lacrosse
Everybody in Buffalo loves him.
Suck to see if Rochester picked him up. Oh boy, what a bad move that would be by Buffalo. If you saw a team like Rochester, Colorado, Saskatchewan pick him up, that would suck. I will say that. But going back to the Mike Triolo thing, physical guy that couldn't catch and really couldn't hang. Who does that remind you of? Reminds me of Emerson Clark, doesn't it? A little bit.
Oh God.
And that was a guy who really couldn't hang either. And you know what? For all we know, what the hell is he doing in Oshawa with the Firewolves? So I saw that they signed him to a 2-year contract, and I'm like, really? Our Emerson Clark? That guy got a 2-year?
Wonder why the team sucks so bad.
Godspeed. Emerson Clark will forever be a 2024 champion. I'm gonna say that. I'll put that out there. He's got the ring, he's got the jewelry, he's got the championship ring on his finger forever with the Bandits. So that's that. But I'm super happy to see Belter come back. Big body on defense. Same with Spanger, dude. We've missed the Spanger goals. I mean, this is a defenseman that scores goals. So we missed the Spanger goals, we missed the Spanger hits and the big blocks.
Another tall guy.
The fact that you can add him in a lineup with Steve Priolo, Paul Dawson, Cam Wires, and Zach Belter, crazy. You know what? Let it happen. I'm looking forward to that. The other roster move that I didn't see just yet, and it could happen the next coming days or so, but also I want to say before I get to my point, positive things about Mitch DeSnew. From what I've been hearing that he is close. So remember that 4 to 8 week window that we were kind of discussing? It looks like it's going to be closer to that 4-week thing. So Mitch DeSnew is feeling a lot better. So getting some good news there. We haven't seen anything about Coltrane Tyson.
Yeah, still waiting.
Yet. And I know that he was listed as questionable in the Ottawa game. Yeah, listed as questionable in that Ottawa game. Will we see him in the Colorado game? We don't know. But those are the roster moves that have been made lately. Just something to think about going into this week. Now it's time to get into our world famous score predictions here on Banditland Boulevard. Interesting.
You did forget one other thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Steve Orleman. We kind of talked about this before the Ottawa game. So Steve Orleman is now in Toronto. Losing games to the Georgia Swarm in overtime, by the way. Jeez, not a good look, guys. Now, I will say this. You need to promote another backup goaltender. And it was the second rounder from 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong here. 2022?
Yeah.
Evan, the big man, 6'6", the big menace, number 46. Evan Konstantinopoulos is the official backup to Matt Vince, a guy who has been here for every single championship in this three-peat run. He sat the bench. He has dressed a couple times, fun fact. He has been on the bench for a couple games. I think it was when Devlin Shanahan was hurt too.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that one stretch of time, and I think it was 2024, where he was hurt. Evan Konstantinopoulos was the emergency backup. So he has dressed in games before. He's never seen playing time, as far as I'm aware. If he has, it wasn't a lot. But this is a guy that's been around the goaltending room with Matt Vince for the last 3 championships, and a guy who might carry the reins for the Bandits once Matt Vince hangs it up.
We'll have to wait and see. But again, we also brought in another goaltender too, and maybe he might get the call too, depending on
Bognosh.
Yeah, so we don't know until the word on the street says who's going to go next. But like you said, Evan has got the backup position right now, so we'll have to wait and see.
He's got the big frame too, might I add, if I didn't already. He can cover up pretty much the entire net. So we'll see what happens with him. I can't wait for, if he is the future guy, welcome. If he's just here for a backup, your work is not overlooked because it's so hard to be a goaltender in this league. But now, our Banditland Boulevard score predictions. Tony, you might hate me for this one. I'm not feeling great about this week. I've been close on some of these games. I've been far off on a few. Hopefully I'm far off with this one. But
there it is.
Colorado, who's on a 4-game win streak right now, going against the Bandits offense that just is not consistent by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to say the Mammoth squeak this one out. And it sucks to say because the Bandits are pretty much in a must-win scenario here, but as the week has gone by, I was more confident last week during the bye week. And then I watched, that the Bandits would win. And then I watched the Colorado dominance over the Firewolves. And I've been getting more nervous as the days go on about this game. I'm going to say Colorado wins 12-10 over the Bandits.
Okay, that's not a bad thing too, because I was kind of leaning towards the way of the Mammoth too, because especially how hot they've been running and how cold we've been. But I got an upset, and the upset is we march into Ball Arena Saturday, and it's going to be a close game, but I think we squeak by. We win 13-12.
Don't mind that. Hey, if you go in there and you beat those guys, look who's next on the radar for Native American Heritage Night. You got the Philadelphia Wings, who are struggling and struggling hard. I think they're 1-6 or 1-5. They're in the basement of the league right now. So if you can beat Colorado, there's no excuse why you can't beat Philadelphia. And all of a sudden, in maybe 2 weeks, you're looking at a 5-3 record and easily top 5 in the standings with that. So we can see what happens, but I don't know, man. There's just after the way they played in Rochester and the way they played against Ottawa, I know this team is capable of winning. It's Colorado, man. They are pesky. They know how to play the Bandits extremely well. So I'm going with that. You're going with that, Tony. It is you're going with the Bandits win. I'm going with the Bandits loss, unfortunately. But for all of those that are mailing it in right now, and I've been seeing all over Twitter and all over Facebook, people saying, "Oh, we just had to sacrifice the Bandits so the Sabres could be good," and the Sabres have been great. Okay, listen here. In 2024, they started off 3-3. In 2024, they started off the season 5-6. Not every season is going to be a 7-0 start like it was last year. Or I think in 2022, when they started off the season 5-0, I'm pretty sure it was. Or 2023, where they're winning every single game in overtime with a completely injured roster, and they go 14-4 and win the championship. Every season is different. You just got to roll with the punches. There's so much parity in this league. So if you're saying that the Bandits at 3-3 suck or this and that, and the dynasty's over, you can stop watching. Right. I've said on this show multiple times that I hate telling fans how to fan, but that is on some bandwagon shit. You jumping ship when the Bandits are 3-3. Give me a break. That is on some bandwagon shit, and I will not stand for it. Giving up on our boys, you know what? If you want to give up on our boys when we're 3-3, I don't want to see you at the parade in May. Just putting that out there. You can stay home.
Right.
You can stay home for that and get your championship ring replicas at the store the year after if you want to do that. But nobody's mailing it in, even if they lose this game against Colorado. It sucks to see because it does kind of feel like a must win. But you got to remember, the Bandits rallied, and not only did they rally when they were 5-6 just a couple years ago, they hosted a quarterfinals matchup. So this is an 18-game season. Maybe must win is a bit embellished and maybe a little bit over the top, but this is the get-back game. This is a game that you want to win. Season's not over if you lose this game.
Nope.
You haven't clinched a spot in the playoffs if you win this game. So just take it game by game. Colorado, just know that they're a tough team, and every season is different. It's not linear. Just because the Bandits started off 7-0 last year doesn't mean that they're going to start off 10-0 this year. It just doesn't make any sense. Sports are different. The Bills were favored in all 17 regular season games this year. Did they lose 5? And they got bounced in the second round. So sports are different. You can see all the projections and everything like that all you want, but the season, just know right now, and everyone in Bandits Mafia, that the season is not over if they lose this game.
Nope.
And the season is not perfect if they win this game. They have their flaws. They have their things that they're really, really good at, but just take it a game at a time.
That's it. That's all you can do.
That's it.
One at a time. Whoever you play, that's who you worry about.
And I think with that said, Tony, time to shout out the sponsors. Long overdue. I mean, we've been going on for 47 minutes. I think it's about time we shout out the sponsors. This
is great, though. I mean, I'm glad we got the roster moves out and the way we got to just contribute to the way that we have to talk about the boys. But as you said, Banditland Boulevard is brought to you in part by Mitchell's Tavern, located at 734 Sheridan Drive up in Tonawanda, New York. Oh, yeah. Guys, Banditland Boulevard, Trevor Hauer over there, myself, Tony LaMonica are telling you, go check them out. And if you are there this Saturday, I'm going to be presenting the championship belt and the championship ring to the newest winner of the football pool, but that besides the point. If I'm telling you guys, go check out their food. It's amazing. The service on top of it, they will treat you like family. Also, we'd like to thank Herney's Journeys. Those of you who want to book your next trip or vacation, give Suzanne Pike a call at Suzanne Pike at Herney'sJourneys.com. Let her book your next big adventure. Also, to thank our final sponsor, and that is Nino's Pizzeria, located at two places, 1737 Orchard Park Road in West Seneca and at 315 Buffalo Street in Hamburg. Guys, you want your pizza, wings, subs, salads, you name it, as you like it, only in America. And for those watching us live here on YouTube through StreamYard, hit that like, subscribe, hit that notification bell every time we talk about Buffalo Bandits lacrosse. And for those listening in on every device known to man, on your tablet, your phone, your radio station, on Spotify, give us that 5-star rating. That we always talk about great things about the boys in orange and black, your Buffalo Bandits.
Always giving you the previews, always giving you the post games, and hey, maybe even mixing in a few interviews and a couple mailbag episodes too. We got it all for you right here on Banditland Boulevard. I'm Trevor Howard. That's Tony LaMonica. And whether we win this game or lose this game, or we see some bandwagon fans jump and ship if things get a little rocky.
We don't jump, we soar.
We never jump, ever. Especially being on this show. We're going to preview every single game for you, give you every single post game. We end every show, though, with 3 simple words. And, Tony, what are those 3 words?
As Chris Swenson always says in the Bandits games in Banditland, in 3, 2, 1. Let's go, Bandits.
Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Get back on track. Get back to basics, and let's kick the shit out of the Colorado Mammoth. Let's go.
And prove me wrong. Why don't you win this game 12-10? And then come back here on this show and say, Trev, shut up. How about that?
Exactly.
Let's go.
Let's go.